Hello! I'm sure no one's been wondering why I haven't been making videos lately, but here's what you can expect in this one. So in this video I'm going to be explaining how an order from you gets from me to all the way to Bangladesh. Step-by-step process of how that works. As well as that, I'm going to be covering exactly how Import Ace got started. No one actually knows about this story, and it's an interesting one. Finally, I'm going to be telling you about how profitable Import Ace actually is as a business. Am I able to sail around the world, light my Lamborghini on fire, or, exactly what I'm actually able to do with this business. So stay tuned. So Import Aces, let's start things off with how exactly your orders get from me all the way to you. So imagine that you have just placed your order with Import Ace. You've chosen something, you have sent us the link, we have given you the price, you've sent us the advance, etc. We have placed the order. It arrives in our shipping center in the UK, where I handle the things and make sure that everything is as it should be. If you've ordered something that's colored red, it doesn't show up as color blue. If you've ordered size 7, it doesn't show up as size 8. So that's a really good point where I can catch it and make sure it's the right order. Next thing is, one of the things that not very many people know about or will tell you about is that sending things individually is going to cost everyone the price of a bomb. So we try not to do that. That's why we have to make sure that lots of orders come in together. I have to consolidate the goods and ship it off as a consignment. When that is done, that is one of the best ways to make sure that cost is minimized. The main reason being is that you'll often find that when a product comes from Amazon, it will come in a huge box, which means that your item is probably about 10 to 15 centimeters long, let's say, very small item, but it will usually come in a box that size probably about 50 centimeters across, and that means you get charged dimensional charges, which is something that lots of shipment companies have to abide by to make sure that the space is being utilized and being paid for. After the final checks, when everything's been wrapped up, ready to go, it's all safe and sound, everything is together, and we put the tape on, we slap some stickers on it, UPS, DHL, whatever it may be, and then it flies off to you, it lands in Bangladesh, it clears the custom without a hitch, and it's in your hands within 2 weeks. That's what we're doing. So you can see that there's a lot of work that goes on in the background. So Import Ace is actually the product of the fact that I felt like I had zero money as soon as I got married. So biye har shate shate, I was like, my God, I have this princess that I've abducted from her family, and আমি ওকে নিয়ে আসছি আমার London বাড়িতে, and there's a huge difference between homes in Bangladesh and homes in the UK. So তারপরে থেকে I kept on thinking, what am I going to do? And on one of my visits to Bangladesh, I kind of realized the fact that, Amazon and things like that, that doesn't exist in Bangladesh at the moment. So why not think of a way of connecting the world to Bangladesh? And if there's a way where we can make a business out of it, that's going to be something to explore. And যদিও কোনো মানুষ ছিল যারা আর কি আমাকে বলছিল যে কি না এটা করতে পারবা না বা এটা হবে না, there were definitely some supporters who wanted me to give it a go and see if it does work. And after about just under a year of starting this business, I had gotten so many different people come to me and ask for things, ask for products, which is what was helping my business grow. And one of the most powerful things about this business is the ability to actually speak directly to people, to my customers, to people who I've befriended. And in fact, it was through a customer who gave me the idea of opening up a separate group where it's more sports focused. Before that, there was a page where people used to come and knock you and ask for things. But this customer of mine, he wanted me to focus a lot more on the sports, because that's where a lot of my customers were coming from anyway. And so it made sense for me to open this little group called Import Ace, and then there was a focus of football, boots, and sports, and etc. Sooner than I could hope, Import Ace was actually on the lips of so many young people who knew how to get their favorite football boots to Bangladesh. And that was a really proud moment for me. But even though my business was advancing, there was also something else that was being shaped. And that was actually a community of people. A group of people, a young group of people who voiced their opinions, who wanted to do certain things in their lives. They wanted to be successful in football. They wanted to achieve something in their life. Consequently, in the number of months, Import Ace was involved in charities that was actually brought to us from these customers. We were involved in sponsoring games. We were involved in sponsoring tournaments. And I felt like that was the pinnacle. That was actually one of the best moments of Import Ace. So I found that Import Ace was in the role of helping others somehow. And it became important to me. And through it, I found that I met a lot of people who were trying to make a positive change in Bangladesh. And the more I got to know these people, the more important this vision became. But we've kind of lost that now. And there's two reasons behind that. One is because at that particular time I was really focused on my career. And two, because a lot of the young people who were there with me at that time, this is back in 2016-17, they had grown up, and a lot of them have actually left the country. They've gone abroad. In fact, that's how a lot of the economic growth actually happens. It's actually these people who have seen the world and they come back with this knowledge and they try and do some good, you know? And it's good to be, it's a good feeling to be a part of that. So I want to continue that, to make this a space where we can celebrate each other's successes. We have the young and talented Sajid, who is an amazing freestyler. There aren't actually many kids with that level of talent, not in Bangladesh anyway. আর ওদের নিজেদেরও একটা community আছে, একটা group আছে যেখানে আর কি they're trying to support each other and they're trying to grow together. I want the same thing for Import Ace. I want that place where people can actually come and look for people. Look, I'm looking to learn how to do this. I'm looking to do this. Can somebody help me with it? There's a tournament about to happen in wherever it's happening. Let's get together. And the reason it has to be specifically sports is because already there's a very strong community of people who are doing sports. And so it makes sense to keep nurturing that and sort of bringing people who are like-minded to this group. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to exclude all other people. In fact, you're here for the ride. In fact, you're here to help support them. It's incredible how much people get from encouragement and how much people get from recognition. It's not a social device. It's not a social validation that we're trying to create here. We're trying to create a positive place where people can actually share their successes. But I need your help, because I haven't actually figured out exactly how I want to do this or how this can be done well. If people start posting things, are they going to be tagging Import Ace? Is that a good idea? Should we be using the group to do this, or should we move on to what's more popular these days, which is Instagram and TikTok? I don't know. So if you have any ideas, do leave a comment down below and share that and be a part of it. Because I'll tell you what, it's because I spoke to my audience that I have this group now. It's because I listen. That's why we were able to grow. And it's because it's more than a group that sells shoes. It's one that wants to make a change in its own way. And if you're still here, then I thank you and I appreciate your support. And if you want to keep watching it, please follow it onto our YouTube channel where I talk about profitability and how this business is actually doing. Skip on a little bit past this stage so you can catch up. So alright, let's get into it. So how are we doing as a business, and how expensive is it really to be running Import Ace? And is it really being profitable? Let's get into it. Right now, what I want you to think about is if you have any idea about how a business runs, there's usually a lot of costs behind it. Right now, you would have expenses in a typical business like storing fees, or you have warehouse charges where you're going to be storing things, or you're manufacturing things, like, right? Or you'd have employees. So employees would typically not have any of those. And that's simply because we are the middleman. We're the people who are helping you to get things from one place to another place, which means it's actually a purely service-based business. This makes the costs aspects of it very, very simple. So in terms of what's called overheads, which are these expenses that usually play into business, we actually have very little, right? Because our customers are paying for our shipping. We are paying a certain amount to the shipping company as well, and we're having to pay certain tax figures as well to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. But apart from that, it's a minimal amount compared to how a typical business would actually behave, right? So in terms of how we started off, or what sort of level do you need to be to start off a business like ours? And yes, I'm definitely talking to you as if, oh, maybe you want to start this. Well, if you do, then let me know. I'll give you a hand in starting up. I've never been afraid of competition. In fact, very soon after everything, I realized that there is going to be competition. This e-commerce is a growing industry. There's no way that you can just rely on that one business, right? And it's you can't prevent people from opening up new businesses. But what I can do is offer you assistance, because we are leaders in the market. Now, in terms of how you want to start off, or how much would you need to start off a typical business like this, you won't need any more than 2,000 pounds, or 2.5 lakh taka to start off a business like this, especially at the beginning stages. But very soon we found out that more capital is required. As the business grows, so does your capital. It has to. In fact, if it doesn't, then you're limiting yourself and you're limiting your market size. And as e-commerce itself starts to really take shape in Bangladesh, so too will our business, or businesses like ours. They will start to grow and grow, and there'll be room for that. But also at the same time, there's a lot of legal stuff that needs to happen in Bangladesh so that businesses like ours are recognized as a legitimate business in Bangladesh. At the moment, it is and it isn't. It's in a gray area, which is something that I really dislike. Because in the UK, we are established. We're a company that's exporting things out of the country. But in Bangladesh, it's not as easy as that. And I have a friend who basically was affiliated with Uber in Bangladesh, and he told me how laws had to be changed in Bangladesh, where they went ahead and changed a law in Bangladesh to allow private vehicles to become sort of licensed taxis in that sort of sense. And that's a big thing to do in Bangladesh, and I'm sure as e-commerce grows, things like that will become a reality. I just hope that it's feasible for businesses, because businesses like Amazon have actually come to Bangladesh, decided that Bangladesh's market is not mature enough to actually host them. Now, in terms of how profitable our business is, it's doing quite well. Alhamdulillah, like it's gone up significantly in the last couple of years. And that's due to the fact that there's more demand, and also, like I said, the culture of online shopping is growing as well. So as that trends, so too do businesses like ours. But am I driving around in my Lamborghini or my... But if you can imagine a business that can generate something like equity per year or something like that, then if you do a quick calculation of around roughly about between 10 and 30% on average, then you can sort of get an idea as to how a business is doing. So our revenue is quite high. Now, if you're interested in opening up businesses, or if you're interested in starting your own business, whether it's a business like ours or it's e-commerce itself, then let me know. Give me a shout. It's not like I'm a guru or an expert in any of this, but if I can help, of course, you let me know. If there's a significant number of people, then I'll organize a group where we can actually sit and talk about this and sort of generate ideas, help you to do what you want to do. or I can direct you to people who would be able to help. কারণ জিনিসটা হলো গিয়ে যে কারো কাছে যদি একটা আইডিয়া থাকে কিন্তু সে ওটা শুরু করার জন্য they need that first step, or they need that courage, or they need that kind of look, go in this direction. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm good at doing that. I'm good at directing people. Like, here's your path. I'll show it to you. Now you run. So leave a comment if you are interested. And if not, then I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's brought some sort of benefit. And yeah, let me know how we can make this into a community, make this into a real space where people can come together. Until next time, guys, take care. Stay ace.